Letter number 1, intermission and reflection. Note, I used a generic AI unfamiliar with the full story to reflect on what was written objectively-ish, without any additional context, history, or personal projection acquired from me as the writer. Me. This is a letter, handwritten by someone to someone. Offer a reflection. AI. This letter, written on Mother's Day, May 12, 2024, is a raw and poignant outpouring of emotion from someone grappling with a profound silence in a significant relationship. It's a powerful exploration of grief, love, and self-preservation in the face of what feels like an abrupt and painful ending. The writer is caught in a torturous dance between the desire to break the silence and the perceived need to honor it. This internal conflict highlights the immense pain of confusion experienced. The repeated phrase, "This silence is so fucking stupid," underscores the absurdity and frustration felt, yet the decision to honor it suggests a deeper, almost spiritual guidance or a desperate attempt to find meaning in the unbearable. The letter delves into the complexities of love and perceived betrayal. The writer acknowledges both the deep and kind loving, caring, and the deep and unkind, deeply wounded, avoidant, uncaring aspects of the person they are addressing. This duality makes the situation incredibly difficult to process, as the silence itself seems to embody both the love that was and the lack of care now. The pain is exacerbated by the other person moving on quickly, symbolized by the presence of someone else in our home, while the writer's belongings and sentimental items remain untouched, a stark reminder of what was. Ultimately, the letter is a testament to unconditional love and unwavering belief. Despite the overwhelming pain, doubt, and evidence to the contrary, the writer clings to the belief that the other person's actions stem from fear and pain rather than a complete lack of love. There is a profound understanding that the other person is hurting and choosing to protect themselves, even if it means inflicting pain. The writer's declaration, "I love you beyond the ego, I love you beyond the protection and pain," is incredibly powerful, showcasing a deep, empathetic love that transcends the current circumstances. The letter closes with a bittersweet mix of hope and resignation. The writer accepts that they cannot force the other person to engage or read these letters, but also asserts their right to express their truth and love. The final lines, "While the thought of my lips never touching yours is absolutely excruciating, there's always hope that maybe, just maybe, one day they will," encapsulate the enduring hope for reconciliation even in the face of such a profound heartbreak. The intimate details in the PS sections ground the intense emotional narrative in the everyday, making the longing and pain even more tangible. Intermission. Letter number 1 year later, May 2025. I remember the ache in my chest, not that I could ever forget. The silence, deafening. It made no sense. It still doesn't make any sense now, and I chose to honor it. That alone feels insane in hindsight. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I'm still doing it. These same words will come so many more times. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I'm still doing it. Can I say it again? I felt guided, like something sacred was unfolding even in the wreckage. I couldn't see it quite yet then, and even now it's elusive at times. I'll speak more to that as we move through the story. This was the very first letter I wrote to him, not to the version of him who ghosted me, but to the many versions of him I love. Yes, present tense, to the many versions of him I love. The ones who laughed with me, held me, saw me, loved me. The ones who would have cried with me, brought bagels to the beach, kissed Emil's forehead, treasured every little touch, lingered in every touch. There is this maddening ambiguity of the imposed silence, my wrestling between love and anger. the desperate ache for clarity, the remembrance of tenderness, the seemingly insane choice to stay in discomfort, the unwavering willingness to love through the pain. I was beyond shattered, and I don't quite know where I am now. It's not exactly quantifiable. I didn't believe any of it. None of it was real. None of it made sense. It's definitely real. I still don't believe it, and it still doesn't make sense. Of course he loved me. This is him and me we're talking about. Of course he loved me, right? Regardless, I was loving, I am loving, even though it wasn't safe, even though it wasn't returned, even though it felt like I was loving into a void, even though it feels like loving into a void. But what I see now, what I want to call out in myself, is how much willingness lived in that chaos, how much truth exists in my refusal to shut my heart down. If I only knew what lay ahead, lucky I did not. It was not pretty, it was not poetic. Everything I share is real to me anyway. The way I experienced it, and that version of me. While she most definitely was trembling, literally, she didn't run. She stayed, she bore witness. She wrote anyway. Me, do the same with this piece, which is a follow-up of the original letter a year later. AI. This intermission letter number 1 offers a powerful reflection on the passage of a year since the initial letter, showcasing the writer's enduring emotional landscape and remarkable resilience. It's a testament to the longing for understanding, the persistence of love, and the profound personal growth achieved through sustained pain. The enduring mystery of silence. The opening line immediately echoes the first letter, with the familiar ache in my chest and the deafening silence that still does not make any sense. This repetition emphasized that despite a year passing, the core mystery and pain remain. The writer's decision to honor it in the previous year now feels insane in hindsight, highlighting the extraordinary effort and internal guidance that allowed them to navigate such an excruciating experience. The repeated refrain, "I don't know how I did it, I don't know how I'm still doing it," underscores the sheer disbelief and the immense personal cost of this prolonged emotional state. Unwavering love across time. Despite the distance and the perceived ghosting, the writer explicitly states, yes, present tense, the many versions of him I love. This isn't a love that has faded or been extinguished, rather, it's a love that has evolved to encompass the multifaceted individual they knew, both the present and the past. The vivid recollections of shared laughter, intimate moments, and imagined future scenarios would have cried with me, bought bagels to the beach, kissed Emel's forehead, paint a poignant picture of love that transcends the current reality of silence. This enduring affection, even in the face of unreturned sentiment, showcases a deep capacity for unconditional love. The passage of time in this intermission does not heal in a linear, expected sense. It layers, complicates, and deepens the original wound. Time here is not a balm but a mirror, one that reflects both the progress and the persistent ache. The theme of paradox. The intermission thrives in paradox, believing and not believing, clarity and confusion, love and silence. You touched on this with phrases like hope and resignation, but this might be expanded slightly to reflect the spiritual tension of that space. The writer exists in a liminal space of paradox, love that remains despite abandonment, clarity woven into confusion, and almost mystical knowing that contradicts observable reality. This dual awareness, the human pain and the soul-level truth, creates the emotional charge of the piece. Meta-awareness and narrative voice. There's a self-awareness in the intermission that wasn't present in the first letter. The writer begins to step outside of their own heartbreak and speak to the arc of the story, almost like a narrator in their own myth. You might add a line about this narrative shift. Unlike the original letter, which is written from the eye of the storm, the intermission introduces a witnessing voice, a narrator who is beginning to observe the story as a whole, even as they remain inside it. This shift from raw immersion to layered self-reflection marks a significant spiritual maturation. Resilience in the face of the unfathomable. Perhaps the most striking aspect of this intermission is the writer's reflection on their own strength and unwavering commitment to love. They acknowledge the maddening ambiguity, the desperate ache for clarity, and the seemingly insane choice to stay in discomfort. Yet, through it all, there's a powerful self-recognition of how much willingness lived in that chaos, and how much truth existed in my refusal to shut my heart down. This highlights a profound act of self-preservation, not through shutting down, but through choosing to remain open and vulnerable, even when it was not safe and felt like loving into a void. The concluding image of the trembling yet resolute self who didn't run, and bore witness speaks to an extraordinary internal fortitude and commitment to personal truth. This reflection suggests a journey from sheer bewilderment to a deeper understanding of one's own resilience and the unwavering nature of their love, even if the external circumstances remain unresolved.